Okay, I am your brother in Christ, and welcome to our Apologetic Empire live stream. We are back on this horse once again. Both Miguel and Space have joined me today for this lovely live stream.
Woo!
Hello.
I think first of all, we'll probably hit David's thing first of all. So those of you that have not been aware, David Wood has put up for sale a little piggy made out of a page of the Quran. And hey, the Cobra, you're here. Welcome.
Oh, hello. He's consistent.
So eBay took it down, removed it. So David then put up the mystery origami bag. So if you watched my live stream last time, we checked that one out, and it was sitting pretty high. So if you have not yet seen it, his video on it, I recommend it. But let me go ahead and add the screen. Here we go. So this is what it's sitting at. This little bag, this little origami bag, is sitting at 31,000.
Woo!
Woo!
My favorite is the seller information art by the Dizzle.
Art by the Dizzle. It is awesome. There you go, right there. He's got no reviews, though.
I wonder why.
He hasn't sold anything yet. It's been taken down too many times. But yeah, we got. So who's the lead? Because last time I did my live stream, it was about right. It was right here. So 586 right here had it. So we are now right here. The 667 guy has got it. So I don't know. I might be tempted to do a special live stream this Saturday, just to live stream the last hour of this bid. Just because it's 31,000, man. That is crazy.
It is pretty excessive.
I will certainly be there because I have nothing else to do.
So I think it ends Saturday. What time did it start? Saturday, all the way down. Okay, Saturday at. Okay, so 4:40 basically, Pacific Standard Time. So we're looking at 7 for me. Yeah, 7:40. So I might just do a special live stream for that, just for the fun of it. This is kind of crazy. I mean, literally.
You got to pay shipping too. Watch out.
You got to pay shipping. You got to pay shipping on top of this.
I don't know if I could afford that shipping.
I don't know. I could take another bid on it, but I don't know if I could afford shipping.
Maybe drop it down to free shipping. I might go for it.
Oh man.
You know, you might as well just pay shipping with the money he's about to make.
Forget that. He could drive it to your house. Who said anything about shipping? He could just drive it.
You can fly to your house, dude. For
that amount. Holy cow! My parents went down and got a almost brand new truck from Georgia, down in Georgia, because no rust down there, and they paid about that much for it. So that bag is worth my parents' almost brand new truck.
Yeah, that's worth like a cheap Tesla.
Yeah,
I want a cheap Tesla.
That thing's worth a human heart on the black market.
Thing's worth a few humans on the black market.
Probably.
Depends on where you're black marketing.
So what do you think he's actually gonna do with that money? Because that's gotta at least, gosh, there's so many things he could do with it. He could donate. He could.
He's got a lot of medical bills to cover with his kids.
That is true.
So I mean, the stuff he does is not apologetics. I can tell you firsthand. It's not the most lucrative business out there. So, just put that aside to cover some medical bills. That's what I would do with it.
Alternatively, we could have a reimagining of Islamicize Me, complete with actual actors.
Do a full Islamicize Me movie.
There we go.
There we go.
Or
It's
just
not
Muhammad Boom Boomerang. Make an actual like TV show of it.
David Wood, if by some lucrative chance you decide to watch this, I will refuse to watch a Islamicized me movie if there's not an explosion.
So how are we? I'm doing pretty good. Some chaos here with scammers, actually. Some serious issues with scammers here.
All right.
They tried to scam my parents. Basically, they do asphalting. So they said it called up my parents one time because we live out in the country. So it's like, go ahead and asphalt. An asphalt lane would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got about a quarter of a mile long lane. So it's a long lane. And if it gets a big snow, and again, we live in Ohio, so snow, very common. Yeah, so they came by, they said, hey, we'll do it for $18 per cubic yard. So they said that they would be willing to do it for that. Since they said the work would be free, everything would be free, except you've got to pay for just the material. That's all we're going to charge you for is just the material.
Mm-hmm.
Basically said that we were just off a job, so he's either gives it to us, does it for us, or just takes it to the dump.
Yeah.
So Miguel, you got a question?
Oh wait, you probably haven't watched it, but I suggested like earlier this week we should maybe discuss this other Netflix movie that was put out recently called The Devil All the Time.
Let's get through the asphalt story first.
Let's finish the asphalt bit first.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and move on from there.
Okay.
So, yeah. They came out, did the job, gave my parents the bill, and it was 6 times the original amount. They put it down on a piece of paper as, was it? I think it was 18 per square yard instead of cubic yard. So they switched that out and then demand payment for the entire thing.
Did you get like a contract before the work or not?
The only thing she signed was a piece of paper that ended up also being the invoice and bill. But they called it the work order, which I do contract work. There's a difference between the two.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. If I sign a work order, that doesn't mean I agree to pay whatever you put on that piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what they're demanding.
All right. Well, I feel like you could probably get through that in a court.
Well, I don't know. Because the issue is they came here. They're getting a big stink about it. Because my mother did give them the check and then looked at the work, looked at it, calculated everything up and said, wait, that's way too much for what they originally quoted.
Yeah. So she's already paid.
So she stopped the check.
Okay.
So that it didn't end up paying. They showed up. They demanded payment. We ended up calling the cops. Bunch of weird things happened with that.
Yeah.
But at this point, they said that they would be going to the see us in court, basically, over it. I looked up the name of their business because on the receipt they have the name of their business, and they don't work in Ohio. In fact, the business doesn't even exist in Ohio.
Nice.
So I called up the business he claimed to work for. And they looked at me like I was saying some weird French thing about them doing work for us.
Yeah.
So
there's a good chance they're actual just straight up scammers.
It's straight up scammers. When the cops showed up, one of them disappeared because there are 2 men here, and then one of them immediately disappeared whenever the cop showed up.
Nice.
So I'm thinking, okay, he had a warrant on his butt. And I looked them up, and yep, they do this. They go around to homes in the countryside. They promise real cheap stuff, and then jack the price up last possible second.
Nice.
So it's like, no. So, and the cop told him not to show up here again.
Mm-hmm.
If they do, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of fun time.
And I imagine that they can't actually do anything in court because they're lying about their company.
No, they don't actually exist. That means they don't pay taxes either.
And that's all the government cares about.
So that is called tax evasion. That's a felony. So, yeah, if they're already doing something, a scam, I don't think they would pay taxes anyway.
Tax evasion? More like financial planning.
Yeah. So we got the company up north that says, nope, we don't owe them anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they're ticked something fierce. They thought I was going to sue their rear end when I called up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I own my own company, so I called them up as that company.
Yeah.
They were scared that I was going to sue them because of this bad job. So no, they're good. It's all right, good. So, hopefully, we'll find out.
So there's a good chance that your parents might have gotten free asphalt.
We don't even know how good it is. It looks extremely thin. It looks like a crappy job. It really does. We might have to have someone out here just to take a look at it and see if it was even a decent job.
Yeah.
Or it's going to fall apart on us within the year. But yeah. So I don't know. Best thing that happens, my parents are willing to pay, but for the original amount that was stated, not for this jacked up price.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if they take us to court. We've got a few things to roll on, but just be aware of that, I guess. Anyone gets those sort of phone calls, because it lined up. And the company that they claimed to be at the beginning, because we looked them up before saying, yeah, come do the work. We looked up the company they claimed to be, and they have a great record.
Mm-hmm.
They have a fantastic record with the Better Business Bureau. But it wasn't until I called them that they said, yeah, we don't do anything in Ohio. They're up in Michigan is the company. And they said, no, we don't do anything in Ohio. We're only a small local business. So, Hey, Roxby is on.
Hello.
Fantastic. Welcome. I was just accounting our story of scammers. And later this week, I will be doing a more, this week or next week, a more extensive video on that, including faces and names. Because I live in a wonderful state that says that I can take video of anyone on my private property, and I don't need their permission.
Mm-hmm.
Single consent state is wonderful. So, okay. So what sort of topics do you guys want to hit today? In this hangout, I kind of went in here without much other than just David Wood's auction, which I'd like to keep an eye on, see if it changes at all.
Like I said, I think this is more of a topic of the future because I highly doubt you've already watched this movie, but basically The Devil All the Time, a new Netflix film starring like Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson and Bill Skarsgård, like a lot of big names. It's basically about just really, really terrible people who call themselves Christians.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a smear campaign.
In Ohio, kind of hillbilly type stuff.
Hey. Okay. Well, I do resemble that. So.
I never said anybody in Ohio was a hillbilly. It just happened to have hillbillies in it.
No, that's about accurate. So, no, we're very, very laid back. Very laid back, and we sit in the woods and we shoot deer. That sounds about right.
Sounds like a lovely state.
It's a lovely state, except it gets cold. It gets really cold and then gets really, really hot and humid.
Does it snow a lot?
It snows a lot, yeah. We get a lot of snow, mostly from Lake Erie. So you get lake effect snow, and that can get bad. You can get yourself a good 3 to 5 foot of snow.
Wow.
if you get a bad snowstorm. Hey, welcome.
It
Bell. I don't know if I've seen you before. So welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for joining. So yeah, we're just taking questions from the comments section. In fact, I'll put my Q&A thing up and just talking about anything and everything we want to do as I promote my wife's video, of course, because I'm a good, dutiful husband, and if not, I would be in trouble. And I don't want to be in trouble because that's not nice. So yeah, we got that. So that sounds like a pretty terrible smear campaign. That's all it is.
Smear campaign?
Smear campaign. Campaign to make Christians look bad.
I mean, to be honest, like a lot of people who have watched the film in like YouTube comment sections and stuff, they understand that this is like probably 100% of the time. I saw somebody actually talk about how the preacher was in quotes and all that. But I don't know. It's just an interesting movie that I think you should maybe talk about in a future video because it's really good. It's terrifying. Well, not terrifying, but it's suspenseful. It's dramatic. I did enjoy it, even if it represented people who call themselves Christians kind of as crazy people.
Well, depending on how it is, we might have to do a review on it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do an actual video review.
I want to be on that review too.
Sounds good. So as I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and plug this. Why not? Add the screen. There we go. There's my wife's channel.
I like the banner.
Growing. She is 3 away from 900 right now. Subs.
Woo!
If you can, go sub to her. Because I'm a dutiful husband.
Twice though.
She is doing great, and she just finished her "What Do You Meme" video, and it looks great.
The banner's looking great too.
Yes.
She finished it?
What?
I saw that the other day, and it was like, oh, it's a premiere, and I was like, dang it! Why do you keep doing this?
Well, she unfuzzed it, and it's now up there, and it looks great. If you guys can't tell who those people are, you should definitely, if you're familiar with Apologetics in any way, shape, or form, you should definitely be familiar with those people.
Who's the guy on the left?
You mean Jesus?
Who's that?
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
Are you aware that John is drawn as a huge guy?
Yeah.
John's
Dark Shine Alloy, man.
John's reply to that is the muscles are too small.
Like he literally said that in a video, or what?
He said that in a post about it. He says his muscles are too small, man.
I really hope that he promotes her channel and stuff.
Oh, he already has. That's how it got so big so quick.
That's good.
He mentioned it on his channel, I think.
I swear, if he mentions me one day, I might like cry or something.
You're gonna cry. You need tissues?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull that out. Oh. So yeah, so she's doing pretty good, growing. She was really concerned about that not going well. When I say she was concerned, I mean she was concerned that wasn't going to do well.
It's just a "What do you mean" video. What is there to worry about?
Yeah, but she worked on that thing a lot. Many hours. Okay, so here's his post on it.
Ah.
So it says, pretty cool art. I think you made the muscles a tidbit too small, though. Well, we gotta miss some occasionally.
Tachyon says he might join next week, but
he's more than welcome. We'll just keep this ball rolling.
Rolling ball.
I might just break out the political stuff and ask you guys your opinion on what is going on in the world, which is always such a fun thing. Political. Maybe I should make that a new group under the Apologetics. Politics. I don't know. We'll see.
I just found out my essay.
What?
I just found out my essay is late. I'll come back later.
Oh, okay.
See ya.
Sounds good. Okay. Any questions from the comment section down there while we were going through this? Any topics you guys want us to hit? I think the major thing in the news right now is the passing of the Supreme Court judge.
Oh yeah, who is that?
Oh, I forget her name. She was a Democrat through and through. So yeah, she passed away.
Oh, I mean, I thought you said like passing, as in a new one like passed through the Senate.
Oh no.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know her.
She died. And her last wish was that this president does not pick her replacement. Which I'm like, that's not in the Constitution.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Part of the president's job is to pick new judges when the time comes. So are you saying Trump should not do his job?
Yeah. I think they're going off the Obama precedent where he didn't do anything.
Oh no, he picked
in his last year of the presidency.
Oh, in his last year he was postponing because he thought Hillary was going to get it.
Yeah.
So
well, he still didn't appoint anyone, but
there's precedence.
Oh yeah, there's nothing constitutional behind it.
So I don't know where they're coming from because they want someone else to be able to pick him, because it's going to mean that there's a large majority of people on the right on the Supreme Court, and they've kind of expanded the Supreme Court's power from what it originally was supposed to be.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
To something extremely powerful, and they don't want that in the hands of the right wing.
Yeah.
Only wants it in their hands, not in. That's the problem with expanding government in a democracy.
Yeah.
Is you won't always be in control. The other guy will have his day, and then you're in trouble. So I don't think anything big will happen. I mean, you'd have to have some seriously big movements in order to get what they're saying is at stake, because they're saying reproductive rights are at stake, or in other words, not being able to murder babies on demand.
Yep.
And the problem is they got the concept of Roe versus Wade being removed.
Yeah.
I think it should be. I think it absolutely should be. And I would be amazed if that ever happens. Don't think it is. I think there's only two. If Trump's top pick does get in office, which she is a Catholic that is very pro-life. There'd only be 2 votes to actually remove it. I don't know how many would actually go with it. And if that does get removed, really, all that's going to do is bat it back to the states to make it because it really is. And I believe that that's an overreach by the federal government. It should be a state's decision, one way or the other. In that case, you got whoever you elect is the one making the decision on that. So your governors would have to make the calls.
Yeah.
So that's what they're saying is, it's all at stake. So again, that whole thing with waiting until after the election,
it's a weird one.
What do you think? Should Trump do it? Should Trump just appoint someone and get it over with, or do you think he should hold off?
Honestly, I think personally I'm fine either way. Like, if he wants to do it, sure enough, it's his right. If he doesn't want to do it, then fair enough. He's just appeasing people.
I think my main thing is, again, this goes back to my personality. If you're threatening me, basically they're threatening to burn that stuff down. If you threaten it, I don't want to go under threats. If you threaten me about something, I'm definitely going to do my best to go the other way.
Yeah.
Just because I don't reply very well to threats. And if I think you're just a big person trying to shove yourself around, that ticks me off more than anything else. So I would definitely disappoint him just out of spite, if nothing else. But that's me personally. And I think Trump's just going to do it. I think Trump's going to make his recommendation. I think they're going to put him in because Republicans currently have that power.
Yeah.
And historically, yeah, that's pretty common to do.
Yeah.
That'd be my 2 cents on it. But thinking the whole thing with the lefts saying wait until after the election is if Trump's going to win or lose.
Yeah.
So what are your? Let me ask you your thoughts on that. Getting all political questions. Don't worry, nothing's at stake except for your life and your eternity and all that stuff.
Nothing's at stake except for everything.
You're fine. You're good. You're good. You're good.
I don't know. Personally, it's like, I mean, if Trump loses, it would obviously not be good because I think generally, like, I'm not a big fan of the Republican Party either way, but I think it's better than the Democratic Party. And so I'm thinking, like, hey, better to have, like, some Catholic judge than some random pro-abortion judge. So go for it.
Well, a Harris administration, as Biden also agrees that would be really radical.
Yeah.
I don't think, tell you truthfully, if Biden does end up winning, he's not going to be president for long. I think that I've seen too many things set him up for removal within the first year of his presidency. And then, of course, Harris would be the next one, and she is quite radical with her concepts, considering she wants to remove the Second Amendment by executive order.
Is that a thing? I think you
can't do that. That's a violation of the Constitution.
Yeah, it's like,
you can't do that.
Not right there.
And who corrected her on that was Biden. Biden did correct her on that. And then her response is, instead of saying, no, we can't, let's say, yes, we can. Like, that's
a very poor response.
That's not how the world works. That's not how anything works. What are you talking about?
Instead of saying we can't get to the moon, let's say, yes, we can. Start jumping.
It's some nuts stuff there.
Instead of saying don't rob the bank, start saying yes, we can.
So
I don't know anything about Harris.
I think she's too radical in her views. I think the left really wants the Democrats want someone radical in.
Yeah,
and
a strong move for presidency, so they're pushing for vice presidency and then cop out.
Yep, take Joe Biden out. And oh man, there's Joe. You need to get a food taster because I've seen how she acts and how she talks, and I'm like,
yeah.
Guys, within the first month, I know who did it.
She said, yes, we can, and poisoned.
Yes, we can, and poison. Yeah, oh boy. Okay, so don't worry about being off topic. We're
going off whatever. Is hanging posters considered idolatry? I mean, posters. Like
what?
Like if you start throwing up Hail Satan posters, probably.
Yeah, I guess it would matter on the content because if I start putting up posters about a school dance,
yeah,
that's.
I think it means just like hanging up like something cool piece of artwork in your room or something. Like
if you're talking about like Jesus, if you're talking about biblical stuff, no, absolutely not. No, that again with the caveat that yes, those are only images; they're only representations. They're not the actual thing. I know that is something that the enemy does try to do is get our focus onto objects instead of the actual thing. They can defeat prayer that way very easily, either by making you think it instead of actually praying to God, you're praying to an idol that you think that's actually Jesus, that crucifix in the corner. No, as long as you know that it's only an item, you should be fine. And I guess again, it would count on what it contains because if you're like,
I mean, if it's like a cool piece of art from a game or something, like I feel like that could just be like just art.
I don't know. I got like when I was big into the whole Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah,
I still historically that stuff's so bad. It's completely flipped. The Knights Templars were the good guys. The Assassinid Empire was the bad guys.
I mean,
They
they still
literally-
are the bad guys in games. You just play as them.
Yeah,
Let's be
they
real.
literally assassinate people. They assassinate people in broad daylight. Anyone that was politically not what they wanted, they just openly assassinate. But
Yep.
I got like the Black Flag, Assassin's Creed flag. I liked it. It's cool. I have the hanging up. Yeah, that's cool. But that's not idolatry.
Pirate idolater.
Pirate idolater. Actually, the whole history of pirates is kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, it's neat
Lots
stuff.
of
Your boy, Sir, what's his name? Francis Drake.
Mhm.
He was pretty neat. I liked him.
something I would like to test the water since we have 6 people watching right now. I'm looking at possibly continuing with the whole talking about Islam bit, looking at the early history of the caliphs.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
The first 5 or 6 caliphs and just doing a basic history, going through, how they rose to power, what kind of happened, and then probably ending up with their deaths. Spoiler, a good portion were assassinated
Thanks,
by
caliphs.
their own people. Oh, my main point of doing that is because these were the rightly guided caliphs, and according to Islamic practice, these were like the best followers.
Did they follow in Muhammad's death and die from a poisoned lamb?
No, I think one was literally hacked to death. Specifically, the third caliph, which, by the way, is the one that gave you that Quran. Yeah, had that Quran done. So, he was hacked to death by an Egyptian rebellion. They snuck into his temple and hacked him to death. Cut off his wife's fingers too, which wasn't very nice.
Yeah, I don't think. Why go for the fingers, man?
But she was blocking. She was trying to block them from hurting her husband.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Things happen, swords flying.
You lose a couple
Members
fingers.
go with them. So
you never know what happens. You might just lose a finger or two.
Okay, so you said I'm a huge fan of Japanese animation. Actually, so am I. I love anime. I'm a big fan of anime.
Bro, I love Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls. It's anime. What are you doing? Get out of here! What? No.
No. It's just like it's another cartoon to me. It's another TV show. I don't see why they make such a big difference between them.
I think it's I like the way they handle it because they'll do a run of like 12 and they'll do crazy ideas. Not like Americans do it, where American shows have to be proven. So they're you kind of get this sort of whitewashed American shows that are always
Gravity Falls.
Options. Gravity Falls is definitely not one of those. I'd definitely say
It's
that.
ironic. We got like the Throne of Human Suffering on Nickelodeon.
Oh boy.
Gravity Falls is probably my favorite TV show.
Avatar.
Oh yeah, Avatar.
That show got dark, man. That show got dark. I just watched it again with my wife, and man, that show gets dark.
Yeah, it takes a bit of creativity to get some American cartoons going. I don't really get into TV too often though, so maybe I'm missing out on the good one.
Am I saying that right? Molinism?
Yeah, Molinism.
No, I have not. Not familiar with it.
Oh, hey, it's Murray. Hello, Murray.
Hey, welcome. I don't know. I grew up on the older animes. Pokemon was the first one, and then
Pokemon. The original Pokemon rocked.
Yeah, first generation, great. Second
Kanto
generation,
was great. Johto was pretty good.
Orange
Islands was probably the best. Let's be real.
Orange Islands, I was on that one, but right after that's where I started falling off.
Yeah, Johto. It was still good, but it wasn't as good.
No, I used to be a big Pokemon fan way back when. Trading cards, video games, all the 10 yards.
I never had. I was like 10 at the time, so I was barely able to afford trading cards. But when I could, I did.
I still remember sitting down watching the first one that was released in America.
Oh yeah,
I remember watching.
Dude, I'm gonna have to watch those again.
Yeah, they're good, excellent.
They still hold up.
Well written.
They still hold up, I imagine.
Yeah, they actually do. Surprisingly, and not a lot of animes age very well. I do admit that the older animes don't. No, you can definitely tell some of them. But there are some pretty good ones out there. Of course, everyone knows Death Note.
I couldn't get into Death Note.
I thought it was very good psychological. It was a very good example of what happens when absolute power is given to someone.
Yeah.
It always corrupts absolutely. There's never.
To be fair, he was already kind of crazy.
Yeah, a little bit. But then he got that power, and it's like he could instantly kill anyone with just their name and their face. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I could never get into Death Note. It felt too much like one of those like anticipation shows where you wait a whole season for something to happen. I just couldn't get into it.
It was a bunch of strategy.
Yeah, I just prefer big man punches thing. That's more my flow.
Yeah, I agree. One Punch, yeah. One Punch is
pretty great.
I personally, I like the overpowered characters. I really do.
They're fun to watch
because
I feel like
critical flaw.
Well, for me, it's like you already know that the character is going to win, like regardless of the show. You know, okay, they've got plot armor, so when the show comes out and says that, you can enjoy it a lot more.
When the show comes out and you know there's one character that's going to kick their butt, no question asked, and then he takes them. The bad guy just shows up and decides, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to beat him up, and you're like, no, you don't know who you're messing with.
I think even then, like, I'm never worried about like a character in a show losing because they're always going to end up winning. I guess 99 times out of 10. There are some shows where they lose.
Now, I do enjoy those shows when you've got I think it was Killer Got a Kill or something like that.
I never watched it.
There was one with basically a team of assassins, and don't get attached to the characters.
Nice.
They go through them faster than the episodes. No. You lose main characters faster than you get to like them.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, I thought that had a pretty good ending to it. One Punch, of course, a classic.
Oh, it's great.
Classic.
I like Goblin Slayer.
What?
I like Goblin Slayer.
Not so much fan of Goblin Slayer. No. Shield Hero, definitely.
I didn't like Shield Hero.
Why didn't you like Shield Hero?
It was boring. Character was lame. He was just edgy. He had edgy shield, and that was it.
I don't know. I enjoyed it more because of how the left reacted to it.
Oh yeah, the first episode wasn't for the faint of heart.
Well, it was a false rape charge.
Yeah.
And they called it out plain and simple. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're actually calling it out. And this was when I started watching when the whole Kavanaugh stuff was going on. And it's like, see?
Yeah, Murray's got a point with the suggestive anime. Like, I can't watch any romance or anything just because I know it's going to be completely suggestive.
Yeah, they got something going into anime you got to be aware of.
Yeah.
Be very careful on what you choose. Because fan service is something they do a lot of. One Punch really doesn't have that, which I do greatly enjoy.
So my boy Saitama, he's way too hot.
Saitama, taking everything out One Punch. Okay. I already say if you said pretty prisoner, I was going to throw you out.
Oh, my boy.
I was so on that until I got to there, and I was like, ah!
I think the point is to make you uncomfortable.
Yes, well, it worked, okay? I was like, oh! I'm sitting here with my dad and my mother. And
I'm going to be real. I recently got my first pair of sweatpants. These things are amazing. Sweatpants are underrated.
They're very comfortable. So, talking about anime. You never know what.
That was an interesting topic diversion.
Interesting topic diversion. Anime.
We went from politics to posters to anime.
Hey. Again, I guess if it's. I know some denominations in Christianity would consider any image idolatry.
Yeah.
I know Islam definitely does. Islam strongly is against any image, and I think it goes
Music
back
bad.
from Muhammad having extremely thin skin. You look at the Quran and the Hadiths, and you're like, guys, this guy has no tolerance for anything that could be even slightly insulting to him. So, if anyone, I mean, the whole thing around singing, again, singing is illegal unless it's religious.
Yeah.
That's because Muhammad got songs made after him that were satire.
Nice.
And he made it illegal after that because he didn't want to get insulted.
I wonder why.
Dude, seriously. You know, what about a good roast? Sit down. You can get a little roasty. Okay, fine. You have fun with it. My gosh. So I think those are the only situations that I think images. I get, again, if it's basically becoming a god, then that's a problem, because that is idolatry. But yeah, posters, no big deal. What would you say smoking cigars is a sin?
Cigarettes. I don't know. I feel weird about this one because like I'm of the camp where I would say like I feel like weed should be legalized, but cigarettes definitely shouldn't. Because I feel like one is a lot worse. I feel like cigarettes are a lot worse than like alcohol or marijuana. I would put those as like, light drugs. Or like alcohol it's good. It's a gift from the Lord. I would say like marijuana is probably in a similar category as long as you don't get drunk off it. Nicotine, it's addictive. You barely get a high off it and it just ruins you. I don't think there's any reason that you should be doing nicotine.
I guess this is the question for me. I'd have to say biblical sources. I'd have to ask biblical sources. Of course, they do pull up the one that most people would instantly go to, the one that says, "Oh, your body is a temple of God, and you should take care of it." Well, that's to your discretion. Again, I've heard people use that verse many times, whether it comes to tattoos.
Well, if that's all it means, then why do you drink alcohol?
Alcohol, I've heard people use it in every case that you can't do anything unhealthy. I'm like, no.
Clearly not what that means. It means your body's a place of worship.
Yeah. And that God's going to be with you. Mm-hmm. Because originally the concept was that the temple is where God was.
Yeah.
If he's dwelling within us, then that would make us his temple, his dwelling place.
Yeah.
So I don't like cigarettes. I think
cigarettes are probably the worst legalized substance.
I'm of the see, this is where the issue is.
Like excluding prescription opioids.
See, I'm very I'm in very different camps in a lot of these sort of topics, where I am extremely liberal in some cases. Mm-hmm. I'm also extremely conservative in some cases. Of course, all of that is under the umbrella of being Christian.
Yeah.
I'm Christian first, then I'm conservative. I'm Christian first, then I have liberal leanings. I don't think I believe in a very small government.
Yeah.
So
what you're saying is you're a libertarian.
In some regards, yes. As far as it comes to gun control, absolutely. As far as it comes to controlled substances, I'm definitely on the fence with that, because I can see why you would say, no, we don't want to have that here. In that case, I would definitely say cigarettes would be on the no, we do not want to have that here because of how hazardous it freaking is to the human body.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same point, where does the responsibility lie? Does it lie on yourself to say, no, I'm not going to do that? Or does it rely on the government to come down and say, no, you're not allowed to do that? That's where the question lies. And I am, again, strongly saying that we should definitely censor ourselves.
Yeah.
In that regard. We have a bunch of comments coming.
So we got a couple, yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a weird one for me because, like, I look at marijuana, and that's, like, the most hotly contested one, right? It's like, should this be legal or not? And then I look at like, okay, let's compare it to what is legal. We got cigarettes, which are comparatively, like if we compare like eating marijuana and smoking cigarettes, what's a lot? There's one of those that's a lot worse. And so I find that just a weird thing.
I guess Roxby is talking about make sure your priorities are
priorities too.
Yes, absolutely. I don't smoke. I never smoked. I've never had the temptation to smoke. I've never done marijuana. My wife, on the other hand, look at her accounts. She was quite active in that regard. It's kind of funny that we didn't meet before she repented. Yeah. And she does include marijuana and smoking as being a sin because it became such a big thing. I guess, again, it's the question of, I'd say marijuana, because of how addicting it is.
Yeah.
I would say yes, just because it runs the risk. And this is where it really comes. Again, drinking alcohol, I would say, would fall in the same thing. Anything that's addicting runs the risk of becoming something that you're obsessed with. And once it breaks that line, once it goes past that line, then you have a bigger issue. Because now it's taking the focus off of God onto something else. And that is a sin. That act there. And that can be the same for video games. That can be the same for movies. That can be the same for, well, of course, for pornography. It can be the same for a whole list of things. I guess, again, it would go back to my question of, is drinking alcohol a sin? Again, not an issue unless you're getting drunk.
Yeah.
In that case, it was very clear, no. Why? Because you're losing control of your body.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing something that will make you lose control of your body in any regard, you shouldn't be doing it. Because you are still accountable with that loss of control. See, I'll sit down. I'll occasionally have a hard apple cider.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, maybe like once a week, if that. But I only drink once a day, if that, and only one thing. But that's very controlled. I'm very rigid with it. Actually, at this point, I don't have any alcohol because I've gone through everything I have. Speaking of illegal restaurants making abortion illegal.
We talked about that.
Yeah, that's one thing that I would be definitely against it, as far as making it illegal. Abortion definitely should be illegal in all situations. Unless you're talking about extreme medical case where you're working with triage. Triage is an exception, where it's either the mother or the baby, and you can only save one. Or in cases where you're going to lose the baby 100%, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But if you do abortion, then you can save the mother. Those cases, okay, because recognize it as a bad thing. It's a bad situation, no matter what. Right now, abortion is looked down as being something good, being a human right. And I'm like, no, it's not your right to kill your kids. It's not a right. It's a travesty. Sorry, you can see I'm a dad. I get ticked off at these things.
Yeah.
At the hospital, they offered to do an abortion because they want to do testing on our young son when he was in the womb to see if he had autism or not.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife asked, so what would happen if, say, he did have autism? She said, well, then you'd know and you can do an abortion.
Ah.
And my wife's like, no, we don't need to do that testing. They're like, yeah, well, you really need to do this testing to make sure. It's like, no, I want the baby. I know I want the baby already.
I like how eugenics is the backing for abortion.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you are literally choosing who lives and dies based upon their disabilities. And you know what? We don't know what God has planned for that young person. There's so many possibilities. Even if they're disabled, who cares? It would be a growing experience for me, definitely. It'd be a growing experience for them, obviously. So, yeah, no. When it comes to abortion, illegal all the time, absolutely, with the exception of triage. And triage is only because If not, you're going to have two dead people instead of one dead person. The same way as in military, if you're on the field and you have too many patients and you're a medic, you have to decide who you're going to treat. And that literally means you're deciding who dies.
Yeah.
Well, so
I call dibs on living.
I call dibs on living. I don't care. To die is gain. To live is, well, I get to do more work for the kingdom of God. So there's that. And I get to see a little boy grow up, which I like the little boy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Matt. Is like, if you overuse weed, it would be the same as being drunk, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Weed is very, 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 and I've already proven that in another video, very addicting.
Yeah.
And my wife can tell you firsthand, and that's where it becomes an issue. It's very easy. It's so easy to do that. It's such a danger that I personally don't think you should do it.
Yeah.
Because it's too easy to become a sin.
Yeah.
Just like I don't think you should go out to bars and get some beers there.
Unless you're with like a group of friends and you're like at a tavern or something. Maybe eat some chicken wings at a bar.
Even then, I would be extremely hesitant against it. I would never do it because there would be too much of a temptation. And there is something to be said about genetic sins being passed on. So I do believe that those exist. And as my grandfather, who just passed away earlier this year, did have an alcoholic issue at one point in his life. So that's something I need to be aware of. I need to be aware that sin is there in my genes. I believe we do carry the marks. So be extremely careful. And my wife was an alcoholic at one point. So gotta be aware.
Yeah. They might have some trouble in the beginning, but they can still be perfectly capable people.
Yeah. I've known people who say, yeah, I have autism. I'm classified as autism. I'm like, really? I would have never known. Because they're fully functional. They're out there. But yet they would have, under this guise, would have tested positive. So then they would have suggested that she do an abortion.
Yeah, it's
and
just...
again, I guess clarifying a bit with abortion, because there's some classifications that when I'm talking about abortion, I'm talking about a woman going and willingly giving up their pregnancy. That's what I'm referring to, because I know some medical terms classifies abortion as a miscarriage, and miscarriage isn't an abortion. It's not an abortion at all. Just clarifying that, because I've had a friend who had a miscarriage who wanted to make sure that I knew that they still classified that as an abortion. And I'm like, no, that's not. I would not include that as an abortion.
Yeah, I mean, we have the name for it. It's a miscarriage.
It's a miscarriage, and that's a horrible, tragic thing, yes, but it's not in anyone's control. Just like accidents happen. Sometimes accidents happen, unfortunately. Now, there are things that you can do to prevent a miscarriage, and if you're not doing those things to prevent a miscarriage and you have a miscarriage, okay, that's kind of negligence on your part.
Yeah.
But if you're doing stuff right, I mean, like getting drunk all the time definitely increases the possibility of a miscarriage.
Probably wouldn't help.
No, it definitely does not help. Drugs, other drugs in your system can cause issues. We are a chemical machine, and anything that's put into us can change that chemical balance.
Will affect your humors.
And if... Really? Pull that one up? If you mess with the chemical balance of a human body, you can have some real big issues. And young babies have very, very tuned chemical balances. And I'm just so glad that God made them so gosh darn resilient. God made babies resilient because of parents.
Yep.
I don't know how many times I feel so bad because the kid bumps his head on something or gets some sort of scratch or something like that. He fell over and hit his head again. Give me that light. Let's check. See if he's got a concussion. The kid is accident prone. My kid is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's crazy. But the pediatrician says, "Oh yeah, I got like 5 kids, and that's normal." I'm like, really?
Who needs proper brain? Give them brain damage; they'll be fine.
Yeah, it seems fine. He hasn't had a concussion, to my knowledge, and I do checks on him to check. So, but it's like, oh, I feel so bad for the kid.
Yeah.
Because of this. Okay. So let's check. Do you guys have any other questions you want us to cover? So far, we've covered some pretty good ones.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So let's see here. Yeah, well, that's basically what I called it in my abortion video. It really is a new age. There's no ifs, ands, or buts in my book. And so bad. Kids used to be looked on as a good thing. But nowadays, it's just they are looked at as being bad.
Financial burden.
This financial burden that it's something you should wait until you're much older on. And I'm like, guys, don't do this to yourself. Don't wait. Don't wait. And that's the obvious baby distraction for later. It's the same one from this weekend, but I figured I'd throw that one on there. Well. It's so cute. It's so cute. I can't deny it. It is cute. So no, it's like, okay, children are blessings. They really are. I could not imagine. I mean, I've always been told it that when you become a dad, you get a whole new perspective on this thing. Whole new perspective on God's nature, how much he loves us, how much he cares for us. I knew that going in. I knew it here. But I didn't understand it at all.
Yeah.
Until I became a dad and actually started raising this kid, because it's just mind-blowing, that love you have for that child.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they spin this whole thing where, no, you should wait until you're like 30, establish your life before you have any kids.
I mean, I think you should at least have like some financial stability.
You should have some financial stability. You shouldn't rush into it willy-nilly. But what I'm saying is you shouldn't wait until you're 30, definitely for the women.
Mm-hmm.
Women should not wait until 30. That's something that's definitely, and I got a friend of mine that does that. It's got that in her mind that, well, maybe after I'm 30, I might look at having a kid. And I'm like, you do know, on average, the ability for a woman to have a kid, if they have not had it by the age of 30, is like 3%. 3 or 5%. And it's like, that drops like right there. Yeah. So keep that in mind if you're deciding, well, I'll wait until afterwards. It's like, no, have it young. I mean, my wife is a young mom.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely want to have a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, little boy was not planned. He wasn't planned. We were planning on having him maybe another year or two afterwards. But oh my gosh, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot of responsibility, a lot of stuff weighs upon you, but you get so much stuff in return. Okay, so do we have any other topics down there in the comment section? Let's see, we got Matt, Roxy B. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you guys, everyone, for joining. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, I greatly appreciate it. And also checking out my wife's video, because if you have not yet seen it, and subscribing to her account so we can get that above 900 tonight. Because I told her it'd be above 900 tonight. So if you don't help me out, I'm going to be in trouble. So if you haven't subscribed to her, please go do that. In fact, let me go ahead and put her channel up there one more time. Right here, let me refresh. Let's see, she is at 897.
Nice.
There we go, 898. Two more, and I'm not in trouble. So if you have not checked her out, it's El Iso Ilahim right there on YouTube. And let me throw the link in the chat. down there for anyone to go check it out and subscribe so I'm not in trouble. So, and then after she sees it, you can unsubscribe. I don't care. No, I'm kidding. She'll be so depressed. She's got like, after she released that video, she's got like 20 plus.
Yeah.
She's doing great with that video. It's fantastic. Okay. So I don't think there's much else in the news other than, of course, the left still threatening to burn that crap down.
Yep.
Again, I'm paraphrasing because I don't use foul language. So, and they're basically doing that. They're calling that, and they're telling Joe Biden not to accept any defeat at all. And Facebook and YouTube and Twitter have pledged to, if anyone posts that Trump has won the election on election night, they'll remove it. They'll remove it. It's fake news. So they're just going to remove it.
Nice.
So yeah, they're showing their colors a little bit there. But then again, what do you expect at this point?
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I'm tired.
You're tired? What?
Yeah, I got a couple less hours of sleep than I was hoping for.
Rough. Well, if we don't have any more questions here in about 5 minutes, I'll go ahead and about 5 minutes. We'll go ahead and wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Not for about an hour. Unless something pops into our heads or we feel the Holy Spirit moving one way or the other, we'll just chase it.
Well,
we'll go with whatever he says.
Oh, I got that job. Got to fill out some paperwork and all that.
Fantastic. I know you were really looking for that. And I'm glad you got that.
Yeah.
Of course, let me do.
Now I can buy computer parts and save up for college. But really, which is more important?
What are you planning on going for?
Something engineering.
Yeah. You know what? I've come to the conclusion that college is really not worth the effort anymore. There are a few exceptions, though. Engineering, definitely need it still. Medical, definitely need it.
For like communications, really.
A lot of the degrees they're not needed for.
Like you could probably do just like if you get an entry level position, you could probably get it without it.
I've built a company without it.
Yeah. Oh, have you heard about that one thing that Google is trying to start up, where they'll do like 6 months. They'll hire you and train you for 6 months, and they'll give you like a certification for whatever job you're in.
No, I've not heard of that.
Oh, they're trying to start working on it. So instead of having to go like a trade school or something, they'll just hire you to work for them. They're going to hire you to work for them, and while you're working for them, you'll get job experience from them.
Yeah,
like hands-on certification.
Hands-on works real well.
Yeah.
On the job learning, that's how I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Career centers, all my brothers went through the career centers. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Definitely if you can get them for free. So last year of high school, definitely check that out because that's very handy for any of you that is that young. But before we continue, just wanted to give you a little bit of a reminder with this interesting little GIF. And we're back. Okay. Subscribe, yes, like, comment, do all the fun stuff that is down there. Okay. So yeah, trade schools are very, very nice. I don't know about this new Google thing. I'd be very wary about it. Yeah. The last thing you want is a piece of paper that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you also get 6 months of job experience.
Depending on what job experience that is, it could be good.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't like Google expanding itself. I'm already dislike how big Google is right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not really a terrible fan of it continuing, but hey, it is what it is.
How it be.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and check in with the David Wood auction.
Is it risen?
I do not know. So that's what I'm going to go check on. So for those of you that don't know, David Wood has an active auction going on eBay. And it's gone up.
Oh, by 100.
Yeah, it's gone up.
Nice.
So this is for the lovely mystery origami bag. Mystery origami bag right here. So you don't know what's in it. What's more important, eBay doesn't know what's in it, which is fantastic because eBay's taken down quite a bit of his last couple of things he's wanted to sell. So if you want this amazing bag, all you have to pay is over $31,300.
Really an easy price.
Really a very simple price. And it's such a steal. I mean, this is an excellent, excellent steal. I can't do it because I'm poor. But if you've got that much money you're laying around, I just donate it directly to him. That's what I do. Because eBay is going to take a little chunk out of this, and I don't like eBay that much. So, then because they take things down, that might be offensive to Muslims, but let's see. Oh, they have pages full of offensive things to Christians, and they don't give a crap.
But no, they respect. There is no compulsion in religion except for the whole compulsion thing.
Oh, yes. Always gets me. Always gets me that no compulsion in religion. Yeah, well, then I got to instantly back off and rethink the entire history of Islam. In terms of mullah. Yes, much mullah. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, my wife and I did the video, the art game. And Vocab stopped in for a little bit, which was nice to talk.
Nice.
So, but yeah, we did the arts game, and Roxby luckily kept the score of it, and we don't know if we want to continue that thing because it went on for 2 hours, and we're like, okay, we're tired of this. And poor Roxby was the only one there. And we're like, we really don't want to abuse her because she decided to do the scoreboard, and I don't want to be mean. So I don't know. One piece of art that I had on there sold on the game for $40,000. So that was nice. So David
got to start selling them for $40,000 in real life.
No, not that crappy art. No. What was so bad about it was a picture I did, a picture of my that my wife did.
Yeah,
because we were competing against each other, and her picture did not sell. And mine sold for $40,000. Vocab stopped by and yelled at her. Yeah, for not showing up on his stream. And she's a little bit of a problem. So, okay. Let's go ahead and do this obvious baby distraction. Sign off because we haven't had any other questions. We have had no other topics other than just checking in and seeing that David Wood is getting a little bit richer. So, which I am more for. So let me go ahead and pull up the obvious baby distraction. We'll go ahead and do that. And with that, we'll go ahead and sign off. So thank you guys so much for joining us once again. I really do appreciate you guys just showing up and saying hi and being part of this. I'm hoping that this helps you guys, allows you guys just ask questions of hopefully other people in the Apologetic Empire as well. But whenever they want to stop by, the link is there for them to join. So thanks. Thank you for joining once again. And let us end with my sweet, sweet little boy.
stuck.